Hey, what's going on, collectors? Jim here with another figure review. Tonight we're taking a look at the Diamond Select Disney's Kingdom Hearts action figures, Mickey and Dusk. Now, I don't know much at all about the Kingdom Hearts. I guess it's a game, right? But I've been seeing these figures while I've been out, and they have been intriguing. I went ahead and picked up the Mickey and Dusk figures yesterday, just because, you know, Mickey's awesome, and this Dusk figure looks pretty interesting. The packaging is basically just kind of like a big cardboarded blister. We do have the Kingdom Hearts here, and then we got Mickey and Dusk action figures. On the back of the box, we do have some of the other figures within the wave. It's based on the hit video game series. Now, this was another one that I really liked, was this Wisdom Form Sora and Soldier. Very, very cool set. I'll probably end up picking these two up as well. But that is the packaging. Let's go ahead and crack these open and take a closer look. Okay, here they are out of the packaging. Now, as far as accessories, the only thing we do get is this sword key. I don't know what this is, honestly. I'm guessing it's probably some kind of weapon that I guess Mickey uses. But I mean, it's not too bad. It does have some nice sculpt on it. The paint is a little bit shoddy here. Like, there's like some marks and dings, and some of the stars aren't painted in fully. But I mean, for the most part, it's pretty neat. We kind of have some light purple here that kind of goes into a darker purple. We just have a very plain yellow color on this kind of crescent moon and star. And then up here towards the handle of it, we kind of have a blue that goes to a white and then to a yellow. Some cool little designs, couple stars. Then we kind of have this little like keychain trinket kind of deal thing going on, hanging off of it with a little crescent moon on it. So I mean, for what it is, it's pretty neat, pretty cool little accessory. But that is it. Now, as far as the figures, let's take a look at Dusk first, because I'm surprised that I even have him standing. Now, how they designed his feet, he's got flat feet, but if you just try to stand him up, you really kind of have to find a balancing point in order to do it. So I mean, he will stand, but I imagine he's gonna fall. Now, like I said, I don't know what this is. To me, it looks like a shark. I'm guessing it's some kind of like shark creature. That's what kind of intrigued me. But taking a closer look at the sculpt, it's pretty cool. And you know, there's some shading throughout this figure too, which I think is a really nice touch on Diamond Select. He kind of has this gray white color all throughout him, but he has some nice shading up here on the top of his head. And there's a little bit of shading like on the shoulders, and it's almost like different colors throughout, like a kind of darker gray, and then it gets a little bit more white throughout the figure. Very interesting little concept for a character. Now, there is like some kind of almost like dots going on over here. I don't know if that's just kind of, you know, paint rubbing off of it, or maybe that's how he's supposed to be. But the head sculpt is pretty cool. You know, he kind of has this weird shark looking thing going on, or there's even a little bit of sculpting inside. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it almost looks just like, you know, like a jigsaw pattern inside there. But the teeth came out really good. Kind of has this really weirdly shaped head with this, you know, symbol on top of his head. And for the rest of the body, it gets very, very narrow in the torso, but he kind of has this cool little, you know, pattern going all the way down, which is like a dark blue. And we get, you know, silver paint on these little buttons going all up and down. Like I said, he has these really crazy feet, but at least they're flat. So, I mean, you can, you know, get him to stand for the most part. And I'm guessing these are fins or hands. And he kind of has these little black bands going around them. Again, we get some nice, you know, silver paint added to the buckle, so that does look good. And then on the back of the figure, all the way up. So yeah, very, very interesting looking figure, that's for sure. Now, as far as his articulation, you do have just a swivel in the head, and that's it, which is kind of unfortunate, because when you have him standing, he seems to, you know, because of this kind of crazy looking nose thing and having to balance him, he kind of always looks down. But who knows? I don't know what this character, if he's got eyes on top of his head or what. But Yeah, he kind of always just seems to be looking down just because of the design of his head here. But you do get swivel. You do have a hinge and swivel at the arms. They don't really come out too much, which is weird because there's like plenty of clearance there, but they just don't want to hinge out very much. You're only going to get about that much. Seems like this side, I'm getting a little bit better range than this side. We do have a bicep swivel, which is kind of like almost cut at an angle. So very, very weird. So, I mean, you can twist that around, but it kind of breaks the sculpt up. Almost looks like it's backwards. So that's interesting. But, I mean, I guess that's technically your bicep swivel. It almost looks like it's coming apart over here on this side. We do have a hinge at the elbows, and that only gives you that much range because it just crashes right into the bicep there. So not a lot of range there. You do have a cut right here, so you get, you know, pretty much all around movement, so that's pretty cool. You get about that much back, get a decent amount forward, a little bit of side to side, and of course rotation. Now there's no hinge coming out this way with the leg. It can only rotate, and of course because of the way it's sculpted here, it kicks out at an angle. So I mean that basically rotates all the way around. You do have a cut here at the thigh, so you get a little bit of a thigh swivel. Just have a single bend at the knee, and then for these crazy feet you have a hinge that brings it all the way back, all the way forward, and you even get a rocker out of that. So I mean overall not too bad. Like I said, it's a neat looking figure. It was intriguing enough for me to, you know, want to pick him up because he did look pretty cool. Now he stands pretty much a little bit over 6 inches to the top of his head. I mean, the way he's kind of always hunched forward makes it a little bit difficult to measure. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty much a little bit over 6 inches tall. Now let's take a look at Mickey. Mickey is done pretty nice. I do like Mickey. He looks awesome. Great head sculpt. You know, for the most part, decent paint. I do have a little bit of, you know, blotches and stuff going on, but the head sculpt I think captured it really good. His ears, nice beige color for his skin. Tongue's painted on there really nice. His outfit looks really cool. I mean, we get nice, I mean, decent paint all the way out. We got a zipper colored silver. We kind of have his little, whatever these suspender thing looking things are. Of course, we do have kind of like gray sleeves, a little bit of white going around it. And his pants here, looks like he's got a couple pockets. But and then we have his feet, and we even have a little bit of silver, a little bit of sloppy paint there. But I mean, overall, it's pretty neat. We do have a little bit of gray painting on his gloves. And on the back of the figure, we basically just get, you know, red with some white going around. We even have a little bit of a blue stripe going with, again, with a silver painted buckle. We do have these little straps going around his shoes, which are kind of a little bit plain, a little bit sloppy, where they kind of missed some of these sculpted lines there. But, you know, overall, not too bad. He looks pretty cool. Now, I did notice that it was tough to get this weapon around his fingers. These are really tight. Like, you can't bend that at all. So that's disappointing. They both have the same kind of grip hand. But man, I mean, you're really gonna have to cram that in there to get him to hold this. Like, you're just gonna end up either rubbing paint off of his hand, or you're gonna end up rubbing the silver off of this handle. But yeah, it's just really a pain in the butt to get him to hold on to this key. And I imagine, or this sword, there we go. A little bit of force, so he will hold on to that. It is a little bit loose on the hinge here. It could just be mine, but I mean, he will hold it up. Certain places, the weight of it kind of, you know, drops it down a little bit, but so I mean, at least we know that he will hold on to it. Now, as far as Mickey's articulation, you do have a rotation at the head. You do have a little bit of forward and back on that. It's probably just a, you know, just a big ball, and you even get a little bit of side to side, so that's pretty cool. We do have, you know, hinge that'll bring the arms, you know, in and out, and then they will swivel, but because of his collar piece, but that will swivel all the way around. And then his gloves swivel. And then we have nothing in the waist, but we have a couple ball joints, it looks like, for his legs. So he'll pretty much get almost the splits. And then going forward, going back. And then of course we have rotation at his foot. And that has a little bit of play forward and back, but not too much. He does have a couple peg holes at the bottom. And he stands up for the most part okay. You do kind of have to lean him forward a little bit in order for him to stand. But you know, that's not too bad. Pretty little cool figure set, if I do say so myself. Now as far as Mickey's height, he looks like to the top of his head he's a little bit over 3 inches and almost like a little bit under 3 3/4 inches to the top of his ears. Let me see if I can get old Dusk standing up here, and I'll give you guys some comparisons. Now here's a comparison with the NECA Storms, what is it, Heroes of the Storms Thrall figure. There's just another video game figure. Here's the SH Figure Arts Batman. And here's a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. So that just gives you a little bit of size comparison as far as what these guys will look like up on the shelf. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting little line. Like I said, I'm not a fan or even really know much about the game. I don't play it at all. So I can imagine that if you do play the game and you like the game, that these would be pretty cool, you know, figures to pick up, you know, to put on the shelf to add to your collection. Look, now I can't stand this guy up. But yeah, guys, that is a look at the Diamond Select Disney's Kingdom's Hearts Mickey and Dusk figures. At the end of the day, pretty cool little figures. You know, nice sculpt, nice paint on them. This guy does have an issue standing. Even though he does have flat feet, he was standing for me at first. Now he does not want to stand. So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, guys, that is the review. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next figure review. Take care.